What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we finally get to test the 7 Deadly Sins characters against Immortal Knix. And this is something I was very interested to see because we have 3 amazing characters right here that I think are designed for this Immortal Dungeon. And in all honesty, these 2 especially will be designed for Immortal most. So if we jump into the Immortal Dungeon, you can see that I've already done it. I hit the 500 million, but I've hit 500 million a long time ago using other characters. And something that's really awesome about these characters is, one, Merlin has that nice PG rate leadership for 7 Deadly Sins characters. And as many of you are well aware, and some of you aren't aware, that PG rate is very, very important in these dungeons. The more PG rate you have, if you have an average to 40 to 50% PG rate on each character, it's going to allow you to do your 3 PG or 5 PG or default animations more often. And every time you do those animations, you're in an invincibility iframe or iframe, which means you're not going to take any damage. And it actually stalls the timer that's running down against these Immortal Dungeons, which is very important. Now, against this particular Immortal Dungeon, Immortal Knix here, you need to have dot, explosion, and darkness. Well, check this out. This is beautiful. Not only do we have dot explosion from King here, right? He's got dot explosion. But we also have darkness from Meliodas, which is pretty cool. You got 2 7 Deadly Sins characters that offer both things that you need for this specific boss. And don't think that wasn't done intentionally by Netmarble. It was. Now, Merlin here, even though she does deal different dot effects on her 3rd skill, she doesn't deal darkness. So really having Meliodas on his team is actually pretty crucial. But the fact that she's got the decreased damage received by 70% really, really helps her survivability. On top of that, having that hyper armor, and man, does she build her PG rate super fast. Funny story, she has 20% PG rate, but funny story, I actually had a PG stone here in the center when I originally tested this. And after I did the run, I actually started recording a video, and then I realized, wait a minute, I got a PG rate stone. You know, a lot of the viewers out there and players, they want to know, wait a minute, can we just level up 3 7 Deadly Sin stones? And the answer is yes, absolutely. She has the 20% PG rate in her core. She's going to get 20% PG rate from the leadership. That's 40% PG rate. And as I just said earlier, if you have 40 to 50% PG rate on these characters, it's more than enough. And you'll see they build up their PG super, super fast. So go with 7 Deadly Sin stones. Make sure they're all attack. In fact, all 3 of these 7 Deadly Sins characters, make sure they're all attack stones. All of this has been tested by yours truly and many others. And as far as cards, I am running this set. I do have 2 sets of these, but I opted just to run with 1 set. I think a lot of people, maybe if they did their pulls, maybe they got lucky and at least got 1 set. Getting 2 sets is pretty damn lucky, in all honesty. Well, depending on how many times you might have went through the banner. But I felt like a lot of people might have 1 set, but maybe not 2 sets. And if you don't have this set, just put a Akane set on her. If you run an Akane set, that will be more than enough for Merlin. It'll be plenty, guys. And then King here, I opted to go with the KS set. Now, I could put the Merlin set on him, but I wanted to go with the KS set because we do know this set does more damage than any other set. And the Merlin set does about the same, maybe a little bit more at times when you're spamming, you know, to be fair, but not enough that's really going to matter all that much. I think the KS set's going to be more than enough, especially since he gets the increased attack by 45% of defenses, which is very nice. He does have starlight damage, which doesn't really matter, but it does apply extra dot, so you're doing a lot more damage. You have a dot explosion, of course, to weaken the Immortal Dungeon, and you do have hyper armor, which is pretty cool. And with King, because he doesn't have a decreased damage received, you have to make sure that every time when you're doing your 3 PG skill, when you're doing this skill, that you immediately hit his hyper armor afterwards, you know, to try to keep him alive, because I'm telling you, he can die. It doesn't really take a whole lot, to be perfectly honest. And then we have Meliodas. Oh, and one more quick thing, sorry about this, but King also has 20% PG rate in his core. So running with all 7 Deadly Stones is the way to go, and again, all attack. And by the way, all the 7 Deadly Sin stones also offer a decreased damage received by 20% when they are attacked on a 15-second cooldown, which does help their tankiness. Meliodas doesn't usually die Although in the run, you're going to see he does die at the end, but usually he doesn't. And, you know, he's just amazing for this because, one, he's got the 30% PG rate, which is freaking massive, guys. That is massive. Along with 20% PG rate leadership, 50% PG rate. I mean, he just does his 3 PG like boom, 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 boom. I mean, just over and over and over. In fact, all these characters do. It's pretty nuts, in all honesty, when you watch this. And then, of course, you know, he's got the interrupt skill with the hyper armor. He's got the extra attack, and we have tested him, and you definitely want to run with all attack stones. And I did opt to run with the KS set. Again, the KS set is pretty insane on Meliodas. This is something we've tested, and it does the most damage. If you have the Athena set, if you do happen to have this set here, it actually would be better, but I realized maybe a lot of people don't have that set, so I didn't equip it, but it would be better because it actually decreases damage received by 60% when the defense fighter's HP is 20% or less, and it does a tremendous amount of damage. And since he's a defensive character, he would have actually benefited from it. 3 amazing characters, and seriously, they can score 500 million on their own. If they're all maxed up, by the way, they all have max capsules, but they can score 500 million on their own when completely maxed out, guys. Seriously, I think even at 4-star, maybe it's possible, but 5-star, I know it is. And then I got BS Orochi in the leadership for the second team. The second team, you really don't need a super powerful team, in all honesty, because the first team really does do a tremendous amount of damage. But if they're not built super well, maybe you want to run with a decent team on the second team. I'm running with BS Orochi. One of the reasons is the BS banner is right around the corner. It's showing up on April 29th. So I thought I'd show BS Orochi some love and show just another reason why you should be pulling for this character and BS Rugal when they show up. They just are godsends. And this leadership from BS Orochi is really where it's at. The PG rate and applying 45% extra attack to all boss fighters. And Leona there actually is a boss fighter, and so is Karate. And Orochi, you know, he has 30% PG rate in his core. He's going to have 50% PG rate. I'm running a Yakune set on him. He has a nice long 3 PG, the BS stones, max capsules. All these characters have max capsules. Mr. Karate, we are running with 2 HP stones from Immortal Victor, and then 1 double attack here. And then we are running the Akane set on him. I actually have this 1 option card that actually gives an extra 5% attack. The power gain doesn't matter in this, in all honesty, but you do get the decreased skill cooldown. I just really want that extra 5% attack. If you don't have it, just put a cooldown card on them. And the crazy thing is, both Orochi and Karate have 30% PG rate, so they have 50% PG rate, which is nuts. Now, Leona here, she actually has no PG rate in her core. So she's only getting PG rate from BS Orochi's leadership, but because of this option card, that gives her the extra PG rate by 1.5% when attacking, and there's no cooldown, nothing on it. Honestly, she builds up her PG quite well. Plus, got the decreased skill cooldown, and then the extra shock damage is massive for her, especially since she has dot explosion. And in all honesty, putting her on the second team with anybody is going to be a good idea because of this dot explosion. It's super powerful. It's only on a 3-second cooldown. Leona is massive. Seriously, guys. She is so good for this stuff. She doesn't die. I mean, she just has the decreased damage received by 70% for 4 seconds, and it just makes her a total tank. The girl don't die. So let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. So in my original run against the Immortal Dungeon, the first time I cleared the 500 million, I didn't score as high having a PG stone on Merlin. So again, you definitely want to run with the 7 Deadly Sin stones on all these characters if you have them. And, you know, it's the same as always, guys, when it comes to this. We run on semi-auto. You're going to spam the skills of all 3 of the characters, switching them back and forth between each other. And as soon as the 3 PG builds up on one of them, you see that I'm spamming King here. I'm just spamming the living crap out of him. And Meliodas, you know, having that 30% PG rate is just insane. And now that I've just finished King, I went ahead and switched to Merlin. And now we're going to spam Merlin like crazy. And Merlin and King, honestly, because they can cancel their skills so fast, they are freaking nuts for this. They really are. With the PG rates, with the spamming, it's just insane. You know, the faster you can run through your skills, the faster you're going to build up your PG rate, along with having a good PG rate core and leadership. And these guys have that. It's freaking, I mean, they are so good for this. Seriously, guys, they are amazing. And it's pretty much as I predicted. I thought they would be amazing, and they are. And I can't wait till Immortal Mo shows up so then we can test King and Meliodas there. That's going to be interesting to see. Come on, here we go. I mean, these 3 PGs are long. And you don't have to worry about Merlin missing. Like, she don't miss with her 3 PG, which is freaking amazing. Something to note that's kind of interesting to me is, you know, Merlin has 20% PG rate in her core, and the 7 Deadly Sin Stones was better than a PG stone, right? But whenever I did this with Rachel, a 7 Knights character that we got for free a while back during the 7 Knights collab, she has 15% PG rate in her core, right? Well, whenever I ran with a stone, a PG rate stone on her, I actually was able to do more damage because it kept delaying the timer. But because I guess of this extra 5% PG rate, you know, having 20% PG rate in the core along with a 20% PG rate leadership compared to a 15% PG rate in the core with a 20% PG rate leadership. I mean, it's only 5% PG rate difference, but it really seemed to make the difference. So it's just something to note. Throw out there to all of you guys. Now see here, I didn't want to do that. I actually want to do King's 3 PG. I didn't really want to do his default. His default's good, but you really want to do his 3 PG. That damn thing is super, super long. And you can see there's a bug there. I'm hitting King's skills and I can't run through them. So I had to switch my character and then switch back to King, and then I can use my skills. It's pretty freaking annoying, that bug. It's been in this game for some time. I didn't really notice it before this recent patch that we got, but now it's doing it again, it seems like. So yeah, just something to note. If your characters, you're hitting the buttons and you're not able to activate their skills, just switch to another character and then switch back to the original character that you were trying to switch your skills with. And that seems to work out for me. I mean, we're almost at the 300 million marker with 3 level 30 characters, guys. 3 level 30. And if they were at level 50, their survivability would be a lot better because they would just have higher defenses, right? They'd have higher defenses, higher HP. That really would make a difference. Let's go, let's go. And Merlin's going to do her 3 PG. There she goes. Come on, girl. We're at 339 million. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And boom. So almost 300, about 350 million on the first team. And we're going to clear this pretty early. It's not going to take all that long because we did so much damage from that first team. Seriously, guys, the 7 Deadly Sins characters really are great. And really the characters that I just showed, in my opinion, are the best of them. I think those 3 are just, I think they're the best in all honesty. But we'll see. You know, I will be testing Bond when Immortal Typhon shows up because he'll have a type advantage. We'll see, we'll see. Boom. I mean, the free characters are amazing, but this dungeon is a lot harder than Immortal Victor, and to be fair. Come on, come on, come on. And we're about ready to get it done, my friends. Look at this. 35 seconds left to spare. 500 million. Hell yeah. And then we end with Karate's epicness. Yeah. So that was the 7 Deadly Sins characters freaking destroying it, getting it done, my friends. And I do believe I would probably continue to use this team for Immortal Knix. So let me know how y'all feeling about these guys getting it done. And make sure you're saving those rubies for the BS characters coming on April 29th. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time, Sunday through Thursday. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.